Chapter 9, Part 2. Then Anastasia began talking, clearly enunciating each word. She talked with speed and inspiration. It was all most extraordinary. The rhythm of her speech, the arrangement of her phrases, the pronunciation of her words. Quote, "May all of Russia wake that day at dawn. May people alone or with friends and family come to the land and stand upon it with bare feet. Those who have their little plot of land, let them greet with praise the first rays of the sun amidst the shoots and seedlings they have planted, and touch each species with caressing hands. As the sun rises in the sky, let them pick and taste the fruit of their plantings, one from each variety, and that should suffice them up till the midday meal. Before the meal, let them tend their plots anew. Let each one ponder their life and joy and what they are destined to do. Let each remember their family and friends with love, and ponder why their planted seeds are growing, and designate the purpose of every plant. And even before the midday feast, everyone should spend at least an hour by themselves. It is not important how or where or exactly when, but they should be alone for a little while, to spend at least an hour in an effort to look within themselves. Let the whole family gather for the meal in the middle of the day, those living at home and those who have come from far away. Let dinner be prepared from what the earth has borne for the hour of repast. Let everyone bring to the whole table whatever is desired by his heart and soul. Let all the family members look each other lovingly in the eye, and let the eldest bless the table together with the youngest, and let the table all around with quiet conversation resound. There should be good words spoken about all those who sit beside you." The scene Anastasia described was so extraordinarily vivid that I could feel myself sitting at the table with people all around. I found myself caught up in the celebration. I was believing in it, or rather, I was participating in it. And I felt led to contribute a feature of my own. Quote, "There should be a toast before dinner. Everyone raise their glass. Let's drink to the earth. Let's drink to love." I actually felt I was holding the glass in my hand. Then suddenly she broke into my reverie. Quote, "Vladimir, please let there be no alcoholic poison on the table." The glass vanished from my hand. "Stop it, Anastasia. Don't spoil the celebration." Quote, "Well, since you have your mind set on it, let there be some wine from berries, but this must be imbibed in very small sips." "All right, wine it is then, just so as not to change our habits all at once. And after dinner, then what shall we do?" "Let the people return to the cities and towns, having gathered the fruit they have grown on their little plots of ground. Let them bear it in baskets and share it with everyone at home who do not have plots of their own. Oh, how many positive feelings will come from this day. They will bring about healings of many people's diseases which threatened with death, and those not erased by time will simply vanish. Let those who are incurably or even slightly ill go out and meet the flood of dashniks returning from their plots. The rays of love and of good, along with the fruits of their labors, will heal diseases. Look and see. Look at the city's main railway station, where floods of people are arriving with baskets of flowers. Look and see the people's eyes glimmering with kindness, joy, and peace. Anastasia was glowing with a radiance as she became more and more inspired with the idea of the holiday. Her eyes were no longer merely shining with joy, they were literally sparkling with a pale blue luminescence. The expression on her face was changing, yet still remained joyful, as though a mighty flood of images this celebration were rushing through her brain. All at once she fell silent. Then, bending one leg at the knee and lifting up her right arm, she sprang from the ground with a tremendous recoil, virtually taking flight like an arrow shot from the earth. She leapt almost as high as the bottom branches of the cedars. Upon landing, she waved her arm, clapped her hands, and a bluish glow flooded the glade. All the words Anastasia now uttered seemed to be echoed by each tiny bug and blade of grass and each majestic cedar. Her voice sounded as though it were being reinforced by a hidden power. Even though her words were not that loud, it seemed as though they could be heard by every vein running through the unfathomable expanse of the universe. Quote, Mother Russia will greet crowds of guests on that day. They are all of the earth as Atlanteans born. As prodigal sons they shall return. On that day, all over Russia, let everyone awake and greet the dawn. Let all the strings of the harp of the universe make cheerful melody and swell with resonant sound. Let all the bards sing and tell with joyful tongue and play guitars in all the streets in every yard around. And he who is too old will once again be young as many, many years ago. And I, Anastasia, will I be young once more? Quote, both you and I, Vladimir, shall be young, and people will feel young for the very first time. The old shall write letters to their children, and children to their parents, and infants taking their very first steps on earth shall enter a better world of joy and mirth. And on that day, no child shall feel insulted, for adults shall treat children as their equals. And all the gods on high will to the earth descend, will commend themselves to take on simple forms. And God himself, the universal God, will be delighted. May you rejoice too in love, making all the earth so bright. Anastasia was really getting carried away with images of the holiday. She was whirling around the glade in a fiery dance, becoming more and more inspired at every step. Stop, stop, I cried to Anastasia, suddenly realizing she was taking it all too seriously. She was not merely uttering words. I now realized her every word and novel turn of phrase was actually a visualization. She was visualizing images of the celebration, and with her typical stubbornness, she will go on, visualizing and dreaming about it until the dream turns into reality. Like a die-hard fanatic, she will dream. She will give her all to those dashniks, just as she has done for the past 20 years. And I cried out to stop her. Quote, what's going on? Don't you understand? All that stuff about a holiday? It's all just in fun. I was just teasing. Anastasia suddenly stopped in her tracks. No sooner did I catch a glimpse of her than I felt a big lump in my throat from the look on her face. Her face looked bewildered like that of a child. She looked at me with pain and pity as though I were an unremitting attacker, and almost in a whisper she started saying, Vladimir, I took it seriously. I have already visualized it all, and to life's chain of events, people's forthcoming telegrams have already interwoven a link. The order of events will be broken without them. I have accepted your words, believed them, and brought them to pass. I perceived you were speaking of the holiday and telegrams sincerely. Do not take back the words that you have spoken. Just help me with the telegrams so that I may, as you said, offer assistance with my ray. Quote, okay, I'll try, only don't panic. Maybe it'll end up that nobody will even want to send the telegrams. Quote, there will be people who will comprehend. They will feel it in the government and in your Duma as well. And a holiday there will be, it will arise, time will tell. Look here. And once again, the celebration images passed before my eyes. There, I've written about it. Now you can go and do as your heart and soul dictates.